Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Michael Show. I'm Michael Tran, and today we will be talking about the 2026 midterm elections. While many Republicans are afraid of losing the House in the midterms to the Democrats, my answer and my solution is very simple. We gotta flip more blue seats, make them red, and send more MAGAs to the House as many as possible because we need the MAGAs to not only stay in the Republican majority but also have power to pass the legislation that approves the Trump agenda. And in Nevada, the state that President Trump won bigly in 24, we need to bring more MAGAs to the congressional delegation. And today, I'll be I'll bring to you a man who served under the first Trump administration, who is a doctor, everybody loves him there, and who is a fighter for the MAGA movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a special guest to my show, Dr. Jeff Gunter, former ambassador to Iceland and congressional candidate for the 3rd Congressional District of Nevada. Dr. Gunter, thank you and welcome to the show.
Awesome to be here. Such a great admirer of what you do and such a great admirer of your listeners. And, it's no time for celebration, but let's face it, all the greatness that we've had since President Trump took office was a direct result of you and your hard work and your listeners and viewers' hard work. And but remember, with great privilege comes great responsibility. And we need to keep fighting the good fight to keep all the greatness happening. And that's why I'm so blessed and lucky to be with such a popular guy like you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. But first, can I ask you, may I call you Ambassador Gunter or Dr. Gunter? Which one would you prefer?
Jeff.
Yeah.
Ambassador's good. This
Yeah.
is, what an honor to represent President Trump and to be exemplary and plenipotentiary and to have the full power and authority of the greatest president in the history of the United States. And I'm saying not just my lifetime, not just a decade. I believe that what President Trump is doing is so transformational. It's unbelievable. We've never seen anything like it. So to be his U.S. ambassador and to have call him not only my president, my leader, but also my friend is a great blessing. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at all those other great people on the scroll. Incredible.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And we look at those pictures and we know that you're a MAGA. And we supported you in 24 when you ran for U.S. Senate against all odds. And we still take pride in what we have done to support you. So I don't think that we need to do like a brief introduction like with other candidates because we know you're a doctor and then you're an ambassador. But you ran in 24, now you're running again. Why are you running for Senate? For Congress for this year, sir?
We need to all do our part, just like what you're doing here right now. We did incredibly well in Congressional District 3. We had the whole DC swamp against us. And we fought hard and we did incredibly well, especially because of your viewers and your people and people who understand the importance of MAGA and the importance of us getting everything through and everything done. So it was the next logical step. We're doing incredibly well in the polls. We're number one in the moment at the polls. Why? Because we're real. We celebrate President Trump. We celebrate the entire MAGA movement. We celebrate, and the list goes on and on, closed borders, stopping fentanyl, everything that the president has done, which is mind-blowing what he's done in the last year. It's incredible, but it's everything that you knew and everything that I knew was going to happen when we have President Trump in charge. So, of course, I need to keep this going. We all need to do our part, and it's a blessing that I have the resources. It's a blessing that I have the support. And it's a blessing that I have very well-known individuals like you, YouTubers like yourself, who see the light and are putting me on and getting the great MAGA message out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for running again. And yeah, I believe it's for sure that people in your district loves you because everybody loves a doctor. And you have been taking care of so many patients, and especially with the skin cancer. Is like everybody hates it, and you help them recover. Uh, and but I see on FEC there are many Republicans running for Susie Lee's seat, and some of them like put millions of dollars in their campaign fund. How can you deal with them, and why are you the best candidate to get the nomination and to unseat Congresswoman Susie Lee in November?
Such a great question. First and foremost, I put in $750,000 last quarter, and we'd only had the campaign open for something like 2 weeks, I think. Last cycle, I put over $3 million of my own money. I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed in my clinics. I've been blessed in my financial life. But again, with great opportunity and great privilege comes great responsibility. So we dropped in 750. There's a whole lot more coming where that is. And let's face it, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. We've run 2 polls now that show me about 30 points ahead of my nearest competitor, who dropped in about $3 million and was going like, oh, look at me, I put in $3 million. Talk about an individual who's not MAGA. He actually called you, and he called all of us animals from Animal Farm. And we found all these terrible tweets that he put out about the president. This is not even an election season. This is during the presidency in 2017, 2018. So we all know Laura Loomer. She did an amazing deep dive on this individual, and it's all there. She put it out in the last couple days. I'd encourage you all to check it out. So he's just trying to fool everyone, kind of do the whole rhino deep state thing. We're trying to bury and delete everything. But we all know who the real MAGA candidate is. I've been there for the president. I represented him. I've been, donating to the Republican Party for years and years and years. So and everyone else, I think the next person in line who he put his own money into, get a load of this. He gave money to Kamala Harris last cycle.
That's terrible.
Whoa! Wait. You're giving money to Kamala Harris, but you're now going like, I'm the MAGA guy. I'm the MAGA guy. And even worse, he gave money to Susie Lee.
Wow.
So you have a guy. So my 2 nearest money guys are people who call President Trump an idiot, people who said, oh, you're part of Animal Farm with absolutely no experience, and the other guy's giving money to Susie Lee and Kamala Harris. Like, what does that tell you about what's going on there? So, the reality is I represented President Trump. I had his full power and authority. He's a friend of mine, and we all need to come together, and we need to defeat Susie Lee, who we like to call Socialist Susie Lee, aka the mommy of Mondami. Her radical policies, get a load of this, are to the left of Bernie Sanders. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a left of Bernie Sanders. Did you? But
no.
She did it. She successfully did it. Totally out of touch right now, and that's why we're doing so well in the polls. And we're gonna take down the mommy of Mondami. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, to the left of Bernie Sanders. I have never heard of that like terminology because like Bernie Sanders is already left. He's radical left. Who can be like?
360. I mean, like, what's going on there?
Yeah, and
What's going on there?
and about Mamdani, his housing advocate is calling. You used to call for seizure of private properties. And he said that whoever owns the house is a sign of like white supremacists. I mean, her mother has a $1.6 million big house in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah. They went to the Maduro School of Socialism, where you basically take advantage of all the people, take all the money for yourself.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. It's the same old story. It's deja vu all over again, and we've seen it time and time again. President Trump brilliantly, as you have, and all your viewers and listeners have, seen it, know exactly what it is, and been fighting against it, and that's why that's where we are where we are.
Yeah, and I understand why Mamdani called for Maduro to be released. Maybe he want to see his professor there. Yeah, his new professor.
100%. They want to have
Yeah.
office hours, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they can talk about the glory days of stealing money from other people and kowtowing to Russia and Cuba, hanging out with the Ayatollah in Iran. You know,
yeah.
they can relive the glory days. It's crazy.
Yes, as we're talking about some of the international figures, and you used to serve as ambassador to Iceland under the first Trump administration, uh, and Iceland is pretty close to Greenland, which is a
Oh
hot
yeah,
topic right now. And
oh yeah.
well, do you have any assessment on why we need Greenland so much? Is President Trump's plan going well? And what is the end game of the Greenland? I can say the Greenland dream of the U.S.
The end game of the Greenland dream is for you and me and all your great listeners to have a secure future, not for us here in America, but for our children, for our grandchildren, and to keep us safe. Look it, I still have my security clearance. I am an expert on the Arctic. And let me tell you, Greenland is important for the national security. We want to have our golden dome to protect us all from missile attack. So you really think like the radical left who's going, well, Greenland, how can you say that? Who is currently occupying Greenland right now? The Danes. I think if you look at the majority of the people, they're all the wonderful indigenous people of Greenland. And I'm sure you guys have seen them on TikTok and elsewhere. They're like, make Greenland great. They're going to have what Trump called the agreement or whatever, but it's going to be good. It's going to make America safe and take care of the homeland. When I was U.S. ambassador, we had Barbara Barrett, who was the SecAF, the Secretary of the Air Force, come up.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? In the middle of COVID, the Secretary of the Air Force comes up to Iceland. They are talking about protection for America in the Arctic and the high north. And it's so important for us. And the Chinese right now are up there kind of wandering around, looking for deep water ports, looking for natural resources and all that stuff, all the great little mines that are up there. And what do they want to do? They want to zip through that melting Arctic, taking that polar Silk Road initiative that they announced about in 2018, and basically take all the natural resources out of Greenland and ship them off to China. Not a good thing. President Trump's not going to let it happen. He's tough as nails, and he's in the process of making a deal. And they've already come around. NATO's already come around. We all saw Mark Rutte, the Dutch original prime minister, who is now the Secretary General of NATO, and to the chagrin, to the sadness of everyone in Europe, Mark Rutte, a pretty brave guy, was going, hey, I agree with President Trump. This is important. Look what he did for NATO. He got everyone up to 5% spending when they weren't doing anything in NATO, or very little. So tip of the hat to Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO. And obviously, my former boss, Donald J. Trump, is a rock star, what he's done. And it's just so amazing, and I love it. And so blessed to see everything that he's doing in Greenland and really around the world. Unbelievable guy.
Yes, he has done so many things, and even with me, I still can't follow him every day because he has done so many things, and I can see the determination in his words and eyes
Oh, yeah.
that he will
Oh, yeah.
he will complete this Greenland project, because we have done like 4 times in the past. We have proposed 4 times to Denmark. And they refused. It's very funny that when President Trump went to Davos for the WEF, they flew a banner saying "No kings," but actually Greenland is under Denmark, who is ruled by the king. I mean,
It's crazy, right? These people are, they're like, wait, the Greenlanders are ruled by the Danes, and it's like, what? Like, none of it really. You're so spot on. It all makes no sense. But at the end of the day, it's about the safety and security of America. And remember, a strong America means a strong NATO, which means a strong Europe. And let me just mention this: what if all of a sudden we pulled out of NATO? Let me tell you, the majority of the countries would be speaking Russian very, very quickly if we pulled out of NATO. So we are the backbone of NATO. We obviously have great partners. President Trump made a tremendous deal, I'm sure, which is in the works. So it's all going to be okay in Greenland. But from what I can see, many of the indigenous peoples, of which there are 56,000 inhabitants of Greenland, the vast majority live in Nuuk, they want to make Greenland great again. They want to join all the greatness that President Trump has going on here. So when you see all these extreme left-wing people going, oh, well, no kings, they're just out to lunch. They don't know what they're talking about. And they're afraid of you, and they're afraid of us, because we want to make America great, and we're doing it right now. And they don't know what else to do. They're out of things. So what do? They create chaos in Minnesota and encourage their people to attack our great men in blue, our great people in ice. So it's
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we just got some poor connection, but I think it's gonna getting better a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning the stuff in Minnesota. Uh, right now, the president is. I can say he's giving the ultimatum to the leaders over there, and we don't celebrate, and we think that the deaths of the protesters could have been avoided, but
correct.
they didn't want to do it, so tragedy happened. Oh, if you're in Congress right now, what will you do to fix that problem, like with hearings or accountability or any bills that can give more power or support ICE and the law enforcement against these rioters and violent protesters, sir?
I mean, I would cut off their funding first and foremost. I would dry up all federal aid 100% to these monsters. Every single death that we're seeing is a tragedy, but excuse me, every single death is the direct result of terrible leadership. These people are being used by Governor Tim Walz, who we all know as, what do they call him, Tampon Timmy. And that oversight, and you need to hold all these guys accountable. And every death that we're seeing right now, every attack that we see on our great men in blue, our great ICE agents, I hold Governor Walz and I hold that Mayor Jacob Frey responsible for their deaths. It's just sad and terrible what they're doing. I can't believe we're watching this. Just horrible.
Yes, because of their rhetorics, and they keep on doing that, and then they just compare ICE to Nazi to the terrorists. They call us terrorists, and we don't like ICE. They don't touch us because we are law-abiding citizens, and they have no problem with us like staying in the other side of the road, recording things or even like shout anything. But when they do operation, the best thing that you can do is staying out of the way. Those protesters, those agitators, they don't do it. They just want to interrupt. They want to interfere, and then bad things happen, and they play the victim's card. I don't know. I like they're trained idiots. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
They're trained and paid.
yes.
Let's face it. They're paid agitators. This is not, it makes absolutely no sense. And remember, a lot of this is to cover up the fraud that we saw from Waltz and Frey and all those guys. You know, billions of dollars going out to the Somali Mogadishu gangsters. Really? Like, these are hardworking people in Minnesota and hardworking people around our country who are paying their taxes and watching, you know, Governor Waltz and Jacob Frey and all these people give money to, you know, child care centers that don't exist, that don't have anyone there. It's a super scam. And thank God President Trump is crushing these people. Thank God our great Attorney General Pam Bondi is investigating these people. Thank God that the amazing, amazing head of the FBI, Kash Patel, is arresting these people. And we're in the process of, believe it or not, making Minnesota great again. And let me tell you, it's only upward when you look and see the stuff that's going on there.
Yes, absolutely, sir. And I think President Trump is making America great again, but we also need to make like our state, our locals, and even our congressional delegation great again. That's why we need you in the Nevada congressional delegation. And speaking about the Minnesota fraud and everything, we also have like a big fraud in the healthcare system. And President Trump, he talked about fixing the system to give money directly to the people so they can buy their own insurance instead of giving the subsidies to the big companies. But we still have some Republicans in the Congress right now still voted to extend Obamacare for another 3 years. And your doctor, you know it better than anybody else. Do you have any other solutions, or you gotta go with President Trump's proposal and like try to write a better legislation to codify it?
100%. I mean, let's think about this. It's not the Affordable Care Act. It's the Unaffordable Care Act.
Yeah.
The deduction, the co-pays and the deductibles are astronomically crazy. President Obama was in the tank for the insurance companies. You know who did really well with the Unaffordable Care Act? The insurance companies. They made a lot of money, a lot. And President Trump's going to make sure that those benefits from that money that they're giving is going to go to the patients. He's going to preserve the doctor-patient relationship, what he's working on. And as the next U.S. Congressman from Nevada, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to make sure that, you know, that the Unaffordable Care Act gets corrected so people can actually have real health care and have their dollars going to help them, not to the insurance companies. And that's a top priority of mine. And I would be up for opening insurance. Remember, you can't buy insurance over state lines. So we want competition. We absolutely want competition. I would be for people being able to buy their insurance policies over state lines. And like what President Trump said, give people the money to them. Let them choose their insurance. So imagine if you're getting money from the government and you're able to buy insurance over state lines. That's going to be breathtaking. I'm sure that's what President Trump is eyeballing right now. And we will continue to make not only America great again, healthy again, by putting patients and people in control of their health care and getting rid of that Obama Unaffordable Care Act.
Thank you, sir. And we really need to codify what President Trump has done, because when he signs executive order, the left, they're gonna file whatever kind of lawsuit, previous lawsuit, and they get, because they know that they have like Obama and Biden judges who are gonna put like injunction on it. Although they know that when they go to the Court of Appeals, those restrictions gonna be lifted. So we gotta have we have like a rough judges wave the weight of rough judges right now to interfere with President Trump's work. And a lot of people ask me what we can do to hold these judges accountable. I said very simple: we need the House to impeach and the Senate to remove them. So if you're in the Congress, will you consider impeach the judges who violated their oath of office, sir?
You nailed it. They violated their oath to office. These guys are activists. They're not interested in upholding the Constitution. They're not interested in upholding the law. They are activists. They have a political agenda. They should be held accountable. I would vote for their impeachment, and they need to be held accountable for for it's just terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And we know you're MAGA, and we saw your fight in the 2024 primary. We were said that President Trump endorsed like, your opponent, but for this time, do you expect any involvement from President Trump in the primary?
Absolutely. I'm in contact with President Trump. I'm in Trump. And as far as the endorsement, last time, look at, President Trump had to get elected. He had a lot of pressure from a lot of people, from a lot of sources. And President Trump is my friend. He's incredibly supportive of me. And his endorsement of the last candidate was last minute, something like at, 1 in the morning on a Sunday before the Tuesday, when already some of the results from early balloting are in and stuff like that. So President Trump was incredibly gracious to me in 2024. He's my friend. And let's face it, all of us needed to see him get elected. So I'm not worried about it. He's a great friend. He's doing an amazing job. And as far as the last cycle goes, we saw it was, in the middle of the night, 24 hours before. So the president is the greatest. I'm sure he'll weigh in at some point. But remember, the president has to do what's best for America, and this is politics. And he's my friend. He's my commander in chief, and he knows that Heather and myself are in his corner all the time. So it's going to be okay. And we're in constant contact with them. And we're destroying the opponent in the polls right now for my primary, and we're closing in even on Susie, the Socialist Lee, aka the mommy of Mandami. So it's all good.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Well, when you mentioned your two opponents with their terrible backgrounds and what they did to Kamala Harris and against the MAGA movement, I believe that President Trump will step in and endorse you. I hope so. I hope you're going to do it. And many of my audience, they ask like, why does he endorse this candidate, that politician, knowing that that person is not good? I told him that he had pressure on him, and sometimes he has to deal with politicians, with the swamp. He cannot like just one hit and then he drained the swamp right away. He has to deal with them sometimes, and he gotta fight with them sometimes. But for all of us, if we just gather the votes behind a MAGA candidate, we're going to help President Trump a lot, because if our MAGA candidate wins the nomination, President Trump can say to the swamp like, hey, I did my part, but the voters have a different say, so you should respect that. We should respect that. So that's why I decided to go only with the MAGA candidates, and we understand every endorsement that President Trump makes. But if he makes his endorsement to you, we know that it's 100% MAGA endorsement, and because you are 110% pro-Trump, sir.
Yeah, 110%.
Yes.
Exactly. And I have to compliment you. I look at it as a U.S. ambassador. I've been around the block, and your analysis and your understanding of everything that's going on is really very impressive. So a tip of my MAGA hat to you.
Thank you, sir.
For your expertise and your great understanding of what's going on here. And also, it's so obvious to me that you love America so much, and you love President Trump so much, that you understand that he also has pressures, and he also has certain obligations that he has to do because it's politics. But you're spot on. As long as we all support the 110% MAGA candidates, and it's all going to work out, and you're helping President Trump along the way. So it's really good.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And when is the primary date in the Nevada primary, sir?
Yeah, it's going to be the second week of June, and so we have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, we're way ahead in the polls. I think the last poll we had, where we were up by my nearest opponent by something like 20 or 30 points. But as you well know, there's a long way to go, and we're just working hard. We're gathering momentum. We're, getting signs up. We're going on great YouTubers like yourself, great podcasters like yourself, and we're gonna keep fighting the fight. And I'm blessed by having such great friends like you're showing on the scroll, from Cash to Christy Nome to Leo Terrell. Look at they're all friends of ours. They're all great patriots, and I feel a deep obligation to help them doing what they're doing, and by getting support of you and all your listeners. There's President Trump, best guy on earth, and Laura Loomer. By getting the support from all you guys, you really are helping America, and you're doing your part. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And we also have many Vietnamese living in Las Vegas, so they can. I talked to them. I talked to them many times that hey, this year you're gonna take home more when you do the tax filing, thanks to the no tax on tip, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. You want to thank President Trump? Please donate to our MAGA candidates because this is the midterm election and we need your help to bring more MAGAs to the House, to the Senate, or to the governor mansion, everywhere. So I encourage them to do the same. And if they want to support you, sir, where can they go and how can they get the updates from you?
drjeffgunter.com, drjeffgunter.com. You can also follow me at Dr. Jeff Gunter on X, on Twitter. It's we're putting out some good stuff. And we all need to bond together. We all need to come together, and we need to fight the good fight. And the world's going to be like if we build a house. It's going to be a disaster. And like I said, with great privilege comes great responsibility. And, we have to be strong. We have to be tough. And you have to get out there and gather support. Love the Vietnamese community. They've given so much for America. I could tell you story after story of the great patriots that I've met in the Vietnamese community, whether it's my college days or individuals that from there. And God bless you for everything that you're doing. It's really impressive.
Yes,
And,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And to my audience, please get on drjeffgunter.com to support by donation to his campaign, and we will get more shows if you would like to have some updates about your campaign too, sir. So you keep it like we keep engagement with our audience, and to keep the donation like rows, cycles that I want to do. And to my audience, once again, drjeffgunter.com to support him. Ambassador Gunter, thank you very much for the privilege that I can have today to bring you on my show. And I wish you all the best to your campaign, to your team, to your family, and to our America.
God bless you, a rock star. I know why you have such a great reputation now. So God bless you for having me on. You are a MAGA rock star.
Yeah,
We
thank
love
you,
it.
sir, all the
All
time. MAGA now and forever.
All the best.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
And my audience, thank you very much for watching the show, and we will see you in other shows. Please keep on the MAGA movement and help our MAGA candidates. Thank you.